Right then guys, so today we're back to hips. Based on the test last week that I showed you all, I'll get Jonny to add it back into the email link. Try and spend a bit more time to focus on whichever one you were worse at. So dedicate a bit more time to where you know you've got to put in the extra work, especially now that we've got the extra time. But for most of us at least we do. For you guys with kids at home, that'd be a bit more difficult. But yeah, do the tests, then retest as we go on throughout the weeks and see how it improves. Today, hips, internal, external rotation again, and then a little bit of stability. So we'll start off with internal rotation of the knee. First one's dead easy. All we're going to do is just lie back, have one leg out in front, let it drop in towards the floor, then we'll bring our heel up on top and just guide it down, right? So just getting that interior rotation of the hip. You can change where your foot sits to try and feel where you feel a bigger stretch down the outside. Try to guide it down, hold it for a bit of time, and then bring it back and relax. What we're trying to avoid doing is just driving the hip down and letting ourselves rotate and this back come off the floor. There's no real point to that, we're not going to get much of a stretch. So just heel on top on the back of the knee, guide the hip down, drive your hip into the floors if it's connected, and then just hold about 5 to 10 seconds and come back. If you want, what you can do is add in a bit of active feedback. So as you're doing this push down, as you get to your lowest point and you feel like you're getting stuck, push your belly back down to the floor, keep your back flat, and then drive your knee up against your heel as hard as you can. So I'm pushing back up towards the ceiling as hard as I can. Relax, and then I get that little bit extra give. So again, I'll probably hold it there for a little bit, and then go for a push, max effort drive into my heel. It's not very comfortable. Relax, and then that little bit more. Right? So depending on what you go for, depends on your rep range. If you're doing the active feedback or the PNF, I would say just attempt it 5 times, relax, and maybe twice through. Chances are you won't get much more change after the first set. If you're doing the first variation and just going for reps, you can just go for about 12 or so. So you can just let it flow a little bit. So from there, once you find a variation that's good for you, a distance for your foot to be, you set a knee drop and then just drive it down a bit, bring it back up, loosen it off, and just repeat each time, trying to get a little bit lower. Just nice and relaxed. Make sure as you go down, you just let the hip relax, so it's stopping as far as it can, and then you just try to go from there. Alright? Second one, variation of internal rotation. We're going to do frog lifts. So, similar to what we were doing last week, we're going to start in the same position, so in your frog. From there, you're going to play with where your feet sit, so you can have them narrow or wide. And all we're going to work on is just lifting the foot, turning it out, and then trying to lift it up as high as you can before putting it back down. So from wide, lift, high as you can, hold, pull it in towards the bum, and then drop it back down. Make sure you I can't alternate here because when I'm kicking my toes off the wall. Make sure you change each one. Probably with about 20 reps, so 10 reps each side. Just getting that pause there. It's starting to cramp already in my hip because this is my crap hip. I've got all the injuries. So it's really quite difficult. Pause, pull back in. The more I can get that foot up, the more I can work on that internal rotation. Alright? Last one. For internal rotation, we've got 2 more. So the strength work for internal rotation. What we're going to work on, you're going to get a foam roller, yoga blocks, or a pillow bunched up, squished between your knees. And from there, all we're going to work on is just rolling the hips slightly off the floor. So I'm just tilting my hips up towards the ceiling, not actually lifting them, just trying to roll my pelvis slightly. Head back, nice and relaxed, and I'm just going to squeeze my knees together as hard as I can with those hips rolled, so I can feel it right in my glutes. Focus on driving my knees in, trying to squish through the foam roller. We'll just try and do a bit of an isometric, so a static contraction for the adductors in between the legs, so right down your groin. Just hold, start building that strength as well. So like I've been saying in the other videos, chances are a lack of mobility could be due to weakness as well as just movement capacity, right? So it's not just that these areas are tight, it could be that they're weak. So a really easy way to start building that strength is just through a static contraction. Just squeeze in, get the hips in the right position, and then 5 to 10 reps of that contraction for 2 to 3 rounds. Second one, you're going to lie on your side. And then there's a couple of variations we can do from here. Cross one leg over for stability. And all we're going to do from there is just lift that bottom leg as high as we can. Now if you want, you can put something underneath it. So like a little block to lift over. So you can try and match the height you're lifting, move it back down, up, back, down. Or you can lift it to its highest point and do pulses. So you can do 12 pulses off the ground. All full reps. It's trying to find something that works best for you. But the aim is to strengthen right down inside of the thigh. Okay? I'll alternate between both sides. 2 to 3 rounds. I'll try and hit about 12 reps on it if you can. If 12 feels easy and you're still not getting it, chances are 1, your technique's not right. So you're not quite rotating in the right position or lifting high enough. 2, it's just your strength's there and you probably need to hit some higher rep ranges. So, external rotation, what we're going to work on, if you've got a box, chair or something a bit more comfortable than the one I've got, that would be ideal. Some PNF, so if you're struggling to do some certain poses from the floor, you can do them from an elevated position and it'll be a bit easier for you. It's going to knock my ankle. From there, what we're going to work on is just driving the knee down into the box, max effort for 5 seconds, then your hips drop into the floor, and then relax, okay? After that drive, I should be able to drop a little bit lower. So I'm sinking down to my bum, drive the knee into the chair, box, whatever you might have, relax, and hopefully it eases off and you get a bit more movement. From the floor, I would suggest starting off in your 90-90 position. If it's too uncomfortable because of your back leg, so you can see my knee's already off the floor, you can just shift your weight because the focus is on this knee, so we can let this other leg lift off. It's not a priority. From there, hold your ankle, and again, you can just focus on driving that knee down into the floor, max effort, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. And there, it hasn't lifted up as high, so I'll go again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. So it's getting better and better. So what I can start doing from here, send my back leg out behind me, rotate the hips, and there we go, it's miles off the floor again. So I'm just going to do exactly the same thing, leave my chest up nice and high for now. Drive the knee down as hard as I can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. And staying down there, good. So I'll go again, drive it down towards the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Feels a bit better. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. And there we go. Knees pretty much on the floor. Well, just about. It's getting closer. And the stretch should a hell of a lot better. What you've got to be aware of is when you're doing it, not letting your hips just rotate, so knee drops. Try and keep your hips square to the floor, be really honest with yourself, and just focus on driving the knee down as hard as you can. Don't worry if you don't get a massive change, it might just take a few attempts to start getting used to it and sensation. If you get stuck and really confused about it, just drop me a message and we can do a Zoom and talk through the different variations. So the next one, strengthening for external rotation. What we're going to work on, lying down like we did before on our side. You're going to lift your leg, bend the knee slightly, and twist the knee down to the floor so the foot's facing downwards. From there, we're going to do leg lifts. So just raising up, looks quite silly, but straight away I can feel that in the back of my leg. So it doesn't matter, I wouldn't have your leg too bent, just ever so slightly, and then it's just little pulses going up, pressing towards the ceiling, trying to work on all the external parts of the glute. And yeah, not pretty, not my favourite at all. The other variation of that is if you've got a little band, you can do without a band as well, but it's better if you have got a little resistance band. Just do lying crabs. So just from there, just lifting the knee up as high as you can, making sure as you do it, you're not rotating, alright? So I want to try and keep myself square to the floor, and we'll just focus on driving the knee up as high as we can, not letting the hips start to like take over and rotate, alright? We're trying to build the glute to stabilise that external rotation and make it a bit easier for us. Give the body the capacity to move into it more, rather than just letting the hips rotate and twist out of these patterns. Okay, sweet. So dead short. That's it for today, guys. Any questions, just let me know. I don't want to spend too much time doing too much, because you have got the other videos there and you can just refer back. The idea is just little things that you can just do dead quick, work on each day, or start to build together, like different snippets of each one. Any questions, let me know.